Hey everybody, Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro, here at the beautiful Grand Vista Marriott in Orlando, Florida, where I own and operate my teaching business under the Shade Tree. People, I know I haven't been putting up videos like I usually do because, like I said, I'm in that process of I've been reading this book and, adding stuff, eliminating, cleaning, once because I just got it back from my editor. And so now I'm doing all my other little things that I need to do to keep cleaning it up, just to keep making it read better and better and better, as we say, keep dumbing it down. Now, one of the things I'm going to talk to you all about is something that's going to be in my book that I finally figured out. I was finally figured out how to do this, and I'm going to show it and talk about it, like I said, in my book. And what that is this. Now, you all have heard me say many times, I am not a fan of clearing the hips out of the way. And the reason I'm not a fan of clearing the hips out of the way is for the simple fact is that I created it to where the shoulder girdle is a separate entity from the body cavity. And when I'm swinging, I want the shoulder girdle to clear out of the way. Why? Because as I said before, when you set up to the golf ball, this lead scapula, it is in retraction. The trail was in protraction. So when I swing and I come around, I want that scapula to go back and get out of the way. And that's what allows me to get through the ball when that goes around and through it. That's what I'm trying to create. That's the position that I'm trying to get to. And if I try to clear my hips out of the way, then that leads to all kinds of different problems that I've had over the years. Now, if you all choose to do it, that's on you, but it's just not what I want to do. And the reason I say that is because one of the things I do when I come down left-handed, and I swing it pretty well left-handed, when I come down here, I can't open up like this. It just won't allow me. And maybe from all the years of making back swings, trying to get that little bit of, separation, or the scapula just naturally moving however it's supposed to move. And I've done it for 30 plus years, so it's probably programmed itself. But I could never get that same feeling on this trail side. And even when I tried to do it, my body still would pop out of the way, creating so many compensations, such as early extension, all kinds of different things. So instead of me trying to just do it, I had to put the anatomy to it. I had to put is there an anatomical reason for you doing it? And finally, I figured out that there's an anatomical reason for this actually going back as well as this going forward. And I finally figured it out. And so when I get up here and I go to hit, let's say for an example, like if I was playing baseball. When we played baseball, we stepped into the pitch. And I always had a problem in the golf swing is that if this was a low pitch coming, that I would do something like that. And that's what I felt like when I'm opening my hips. I don't want to do that. I want to open my scapula, because if I'm baseball coming and I step into the pitch and I hit it, boom, my scapulas are open. They're clearing and getting out of the way while my hips are remaining, or the pelvis is remaining there. And that's the sensation I'm trying to create. And I thought maybe it was just a feeling until I kept pushing the action and find out that it's not just a feeling. You actually can create the movement that allows that to happen. Like I said, I finally figured out what it was, what it is, and I will talk about that. And it is a chapter in my book, about how to move the pelvis girdle, and I call it opening and closing of the pelvis girdle. And so here, I'll hit one here. And I've been doing this. And I tell you what, people, I have literally, been so happy that I'm finally able to get that. Now, there's a video I've got out, and I call it I think I call it the anatomical Mo, where I'm hitting like Mo Norman, and I'm in this good set down position. And I think that's something Mo Norman was able to do in that good set down position. I think, like Sam Snead, I don't know if they were coming out of the pitch as much as they were staying in the pitch. Now, one of the things that I've learned is that when all these people that do the casting or that over the bad over the top, I think it's got everything to do with the fact that when this pelvis is clearing out of the way, they're throwing it over. You know, it's got a cause and effect, one of these. And I think if you learn how to get this part right, and that's why another thing, I'm not trying to get over, because here's another thing. When they just try to get over to your lead side, it leads to, it don't lead to a lot of good things. That's why people are continuously trying it, and they've tried it 10,000 times and they still don't happen. That's why I said, if you can't get it within the first 10 moves, you know something is wrong, you know. Make 10 swings, if you don't get it in that, something ain't right. So, like I said, I finally figured out how that connects, what makes it work. So now when I hit it, it allows me just to stay right there in the shot. And the beauty of it is, and the way that the body works, that whatever I do on one side, it allows me to do it on the other. So now I've got both sides of my pelvis working in unison. And like I said, I explain it all in my book, Top Down, the Shade Tree Pros Top Down Stack and Shift Golf Swing. And I'm telling you what, that has just absolutely been one of the most important things that I wanted to find. That now I know the understanding of the shoulder girdle, I know how it works with the pelvis girdle, and I know how it has a direct influence on what we do with our feet. So now when I get those good anatomical ends set up with a great dead fingers grip, you already know that. The head, the hands, and the feet, and building those sequences, because in that book, I'm going to show you how to build the sequences. I'm going to show you the movements, because this book is going to be just as good for teachers or those people who want to just learn to swing on their own or something of that nature. There's many of them out there, or just good information for teachers, because what it's doing is getting away from all the things that we just was taking for granted, and we're getting down to what's actually happening. What are the real anatomical movements? What is the scapula? Why is it? Why do I talk about the scapula's top down? Why is it that they don't measure it? Why is it a lot of people can't see that the scapula is a separate entity from the body cavity? Why is it that people can't see that no matter who you are, where you are, that the head, the hands, and the feet, which I respire as the anatomical ends, is fundamental uno numero, you know? Because regardless, if you don't have a good setup, then a good grip is not going to do you the greatest thing in the world. You got to have a good setup, and when you got a good dead fingers grip, you know, with a good anatomical ends, a setup with the address position, it just makes the whole process easy. So people, like I said, I'm still working on that book. Let's say if there was 10 steps to it, let's say I'm somewhere around about 6. So we're doing pretty good. Sorry about this stuff flying around here. But this is Charles Calhoun, aka the Shade Tree Pro. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up. And you know how I do it, people. Sorry about that. Always good golfing.